ask, Coolio, are you ready?
Big rich music.
I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Better Living. As always, this is your host Coolio, bringing you another topic of discussion. As you already see in the topic, it has to do with communication. As the last episode I mentioned that we'll discuss this next, so I will do it now so you can get it over and done with. So now, how this is personal. How, as an individual, how do you view communication? What is your take on communication? So the topic will be, what is your take on communication? So that is the question I'm asking now. Think about it yourself as a personal of how you view it and what is your take on communication. And then what you come up with as to what you think. Forget about the general communicating and all what the general thinking of communicating. Personally, your own take, how you view it. This is what I want you to do now, because this is a very critical topic where we hear about people talk about communication, but they themselves lack communication. So think about it, and I will not give too much time this time, since I have to go in this one in a little bit of detail. So I will leave you now to think about it, and I'll be back.
What do you know about giving? The world says you need to give. But how do you do it? That you want that give. From the heart, as that the way it will give you happiness from within. To give, you have to learn how to understand what it means to Let me give you some real talk this time.
Okay, welcome back.
What do you see?
As I said, I will not give too much time. So now back to topic. So, what is your take on communication? So, as an individual, personally, how do you look at the word communication and how do you interpret it? Are you one that interprets communication as to The person have to tell you everything, or you don't have to do the same? Or are you one that look to have back and forth communication? Or are you one that think that the person tell you everything but you tell some things? So which part do you fall in? Because which one of those that you choose that you fall in, the world in general, as to when people says, oh, communication, the way they look at the communication is that you tell me everything and I tell you if I feel like, which is not communication at all. That's not communicating. It's pretty much you tell me, and if I have time for you, I'll talk with you and just, and if you want that says, well, I tell you some, or you gotta check yourself before you open. It's still not communicating because it's only one-sided. So the actual word itself, communicating, is back and forth. I tell you something, you tell me something. I tell you something, you tell me something. So we gotta go back and forth. Why back and forth? Just like the streets, it's a two-way. It could go this one, go this way, the other go this way. So that's how you have to be with communication. So with that says, now, are you one that practice that type of communication? Because thinking about it that way, that many people will say, yeah, that's communication, that's communicating, good communication. But do you practice it? That is where the issue is. It's not about knowing what it is. It's about putting it to practice. Because when you look about anything, when you go to school and learn to be whatever you say you want to do, that you learn in school, it's not only about learning it. You have to practice it so you can actually be that. So it's the practice, putting it to practice. That is where everything relies on. Just like you that play sports, you have to go to practice for games. Why? So you could develop your skills. And how do you develop your skills? By practice. You're able to learn new ways or adapt to the old that you have with a little bit of new to make sure you have something over your opponent. The reason why I give this example is not that the communication is for you to have it over your opponent. It's by applying. The whole point is the application of it. Because if you don't practice it, what happens? You do not get better. And if you don't get better, you cannot improve. And if you cannot improve, what constantly will be happening? You constantly will find issue with communicating with others, and you always will be fighting with others that they're not communicating with you because they too not practicing it. See where it goes? Because the way you practice, if you practicing it, guess what happens? Others will, because once they realize that the type of person you are by practicing, and you let them start opening up. And when they start opening up, the only way people open up is by communication. If you don't communicate with them, they don't open up.
that you say.
So you want to get to know someone. That's the usual thinking of the world. Get to know me, get to know me. How can someone get to know you if you don't sit down and talk with the person?
I say
it will not happen. So, communication. Learn to communicate. Better communication is two-way. You tell the person something, and you stop, the person tells you something too. Sometimes, you might be the one to say more, depending on the type of relationship you're looking to build. But you always have to have a listening ear as well. And with that, communication, what happened? Because if you communicate and build, then now you can see where problem lies with you and that person. And what would happen? Because you communicate, you both avoid that situation, because now you know what that person is not going to tolerate from you. And that only can come by communication. And that person also know what you can tolerate from them. And then once you avoid that situation, guess what happens? You build a better society. It starts from a family. So I would say you build a better family, and that family goes outside the house and it becomes a community, and then from a community to however big you want to expand that. It's communication starts from within. So it starts from two people knowing communication. So does this help with the last topic of betrayal, where I said it's communication that helps you deal with betrayal? Yes, because for that person not to go tell your business, they will have to understand what betrayal is to you, how you view it, and why you will not like them. So it's communicating. By doing that, you avoid the whole situation. So with that says, the question again, what is your take on communication? So as always, this is your host, Coolio, saying God bless and have a wonderful time.
To get along and make this life a better one. Is that too much to ask? I ask, you ask, what do I want? And that's what I say, that I want. Do what's right, do what's good. That is what I want. As everyone keep on crying to each other that there's no love at all. Everyone looking for someone to show the things that makes life better. And I say the only thing that will make it better is to have compassion, understanding, and the love that comes with great care, so that you will show respect for everyone, as that's what I want. So next time you think of asking me, what do I want? Remember that what I want is for you to love each other, and the manner of love and care for each other as to show compassion, patience, and respect. That's what